Erev Tov Akko, Boker Tov in Tanglewood. We know you're starting to get ready for those afternoon concerts and plays and dance and setting up a picnic table outside. And we know that those of you here with us, you get to just choose any spot you want and really get a real treat. My name's Wayne Firestone. I am thrilled to be back with you on this episode, which we're calling Curtain Call, Community Empowerment Through Expression by Artists. And indeed, that's exactly what Curtain Call, the organization, does. And that's exactly what we're going to do on the show today, is introduce you to some of the wonderful people who are involved in this great program. First of all, we're glad that you're all here with us. It's summer, and so we want to know what you're doing to make it a great summer. Has anyone seen a show? Have you actually gone back into the theater? I am getting ready to go tonight. If you have, put something in the chat. If you want to make a recommendation about a show you've seen in Israel or wherever you're situated now, please share it with us. We know that theater has the great ability to inspire and to allow us to suspend our imagination for a period of time, but also then to ponder and think about it and think about the possibilities after we've attended. And I love when people say they've been thinking about a show or a performance for weeks after. We have people here today with us from San Diego, from Philadelphia, from Ottawa, from London, from Durham, North Carolina. And indeed, we have people around the world experiencing culture in ways that are unique. We are so proud at American Israel Friendship League to highlight organizations and programs that are helping us, people in different ways, get through their own isolation. And indeed, there are people who get hit harder, have been hit harder than others, and who are continuing to struggle through this period. So we're so pleased to introduce you, for those of you that don't know about it, to Curtain Call. We're grateful to have the founder and CEO of Curtain Call, Ifat Bahar, with us, and she's going to share some of her own impressions from this work. She's a theater arts alumnus, graduate of Tel Aviv University, and she will be interviewing, in addition to presenting a little bit of background on the organization. She will also be interviewing one of her colleagues, Sohair Khatib, who is the program director for Arab Society at Curtain Call, one of many different communities that are served by and bring their own voices to this kind of community theater. Sohair actually does not come from a theater background per se. It'll be interesting to hear. She has a master's degree in social science, humanities, and at-risk youth, one of the target populations that Curtain Call services. And so you will be hearing from Sohair today, in part in translation through Ifat, but also as we listen to some of the testimonials of people who have been affected by the program. And that is something we're really looking forward to sharing with you. And finally, in a moment, I'm going to first present to you Reuven Kuvent, who is here today in his role as chairman of this great organization. He has a long and distinguished career in both the public and private sectors in Israel, which includes being the CEO of Dun & Bradstreet Israel for over a decade. And he has chaired publicly traded companies in Israel, and currently is the founder and CEO of Blue Mountain Limited, an investment company. He is also a Tel Aviv University alumnus, a place where I like to walk around when I'm back in Tel Aviv. He has an MBA and a BA from Tel Aviv University. Truly an inspiring place. So we're going to first introduce the organization a little bit. We have a clip about Curtain Call, which will give you a little bit of a feel for the organization and some of the constituencies that it is serving. And then I'm going to ask Reuven to introduce his role as chairman. So let's go ahead and start with the clip. So Reuven, when you look at those images and think about this organization, I know you have a great deal of pride in what it's doing, what it's accomplished. Tell us a little bit about Curtain Call and its importance in Israeli society.
Before that, I just want to mention that for me, Curtain Call is a love story that started in a blind date that was match-made by a national leadership team, an organization in Israel that recruits executives from the business sector to serve as board members in different organizations in Israel that give social help to weak segments in Israel. They approached me about 3 years ago and asked me to join as a board member. And I asked them what kind of board, and they said we have a variety of many companies, organizations. And I said, what do you have? So they said, we have the Ethiopians, we have the Christians, we have the Druze, we have the Orthodox Jews, and we have the gays and the straight. They mentioned so many organizations. And I said to them, I don't know really to which one I want to be as a board member. And they came back to me after 2 weeks and they said, we have for you a special organization. It's called Curtain Call. It's all included. You have everything. You have treatment for the old, the young, the elderly people, the children, you name it. And I met the founder of the organization. She gave me a test and she asked me many questions. And then she decided to take me to the board. And I fell in love with that organization that does help to thousands of people during the year. Thanks to the founder, Ifat Bahar, that will give you a presentation later. My role is to give the business aspect of running a organization, a voluntary organizations that does things for the public. Usually those organizations, non-profit organizations, have a big vision, goodwill, but no business experience. And my role is to give my experience from the past and help them.
Well, Reuven, we're grateful for your helping us understand after your blind date with the organization to sort of fall in love. We think it's a great opportunity for our audience to understand really how these two different worlds have come together, the theater world and the sort of social services world that reaches many different at-risk populations in Israel, and indeed presents a model for thinking about theater a little bit different than just, buying your ticket and coming seeing a performance to be entertained. Now, Ifat, when you were studying theater, I don't know if there was a course yet on the kind of work that you're doing now. Maybe you can teach a course at Tel Aviv or somewhere else one day. But for our audience, take us back to when you were forming the organization in order to give us that understanding of why you decided that there was an opportunity here to use your skills and your artistry to benefit these multiple communities that Reuben referred to.
I love doing that. I just want to say first, you know that I'm not a native English speaker, and I'm very nervous and excited to be here with you. And thank you for the opportunity. And I probably will have a few blackouts, so be patient with me, and we'll be fine this evening. So I was a really closed and insecure girl. I was barely spoke my mind. It was very hard for me to express my feelings, my thoughts, to stand up for myself. And I was a little girl. I had nothing to do with it, and I couldn't help myself to change it. And I remember when I was 11, I saw that I can join a drama class, regular drama class. And I came to my mother and I told her, please, Mom, register me to that drama class, after school drama class. And she told me, are you sure? It fits you because you're so shy. And how are you going to perform in front of people? How are you going to stand on stage? And I don't remember what I told her. I think it was very a strong inner feeling that I knew this is the tool that will help me. And I convinced her, and she registered me to that drama class. And I remember that it was a regular room that we practiced acting, and I felt so free to speak my mind, and the frustration that I felt in my personal life, that I knew exactly what I want to say, but I just didn't have the voice to say it. It all faded away when I was on stage. And after a few years in drama class, it changed me. And I saw that the theater tools that I learned and practiced became my own personal tools. And you talked about Tel Aviv University. I wanted to be a theater woman in Israel, and to create and to write plays and to direct. And I signed to the theater department in Tel Aviv University. And then I realized, and for the first time, I discovered that there is that community-based theater is a method, and you can study it. And I don't know if you know that. You probably know that community-based theater started at the US at the 60s, the Cultural Revolution. And when I discovered that, I just I went to those classes, the community-based theater classes, and I knew that I need to do something about it, because I know there are a lot of women and a lot of people in Israel and worldwide, but in Israel, that needs the stage. They need the courage to express themselves and to change their lives. So,
well, we're glad that little insecure girl grew into a confident theater professional, but also that those insights help lead you to help others, which ultimately the empowerment of the theater for the audience as well as for the participants. As I was looking at the photographs in that opening clip, there's a great deal of pride that comes with showcasing one's culture and one's identity and story publicly, even with the challenges, right, of doing that, maybe because of those challenges of doing it in the public forum like that. All right, well, I know you have lots to share with us in terms of both visuals and some additional clips to give a little bit of a flavor for the organization. So why don't we start with that?
So I founded the Curtain Call 10 years ago. And last week we were awarded with a Knesset Speaker and Quality of Life Prize. And we're really excited about that because the environment is that we have bigger problems and arts and culture and theater is not that important. And to be awarded in that prize gives us the acknowledgement and the power and the energy to continue to the next 10 years. And you know, I didn't do it by myself. I have a wonderful team. We're 8 women. We're all women in our team. Wonderful women, very strong and powerful women who does all the work. We have almost 40 theater instructors that are working with our groups, and we're really proud of that and excited about it. Over the last 10 years, we were building social resilience over 250 communities, community-based theater in Israel, and over 5,000 participants told us their stories, not that just their personal life stories. They shared how being graduated from our programs changed their lives, and they had in their minds their future story and what they want to do with their life now and what they want to change and how they want to influence others. And we're very proud of them, and you'll see some of them later in the presentation. And I want to share with you now our clip from our 10th anniversary event from that held in the Israeli President House. So you would see something.
בערב מיוחד זה, ברצוננו להודות לכבוד נשיא המדינה, מר יצחק הרצוג ורעייתו הגברת מיכל הרצוג, על אירוע במה לאחדות לציון עשור לעמותת השתחוויה. במהלך העשור השתתפו בתוכניות העמותה מעל ל-5,000 משתתפים מקרב החברה הישראלית על כל רבדיה וגווניה, פסיפס של החברה.
עבורנו, לנשיא ולי, זה תענוג גדול ושמחה אמיתית לחגוג איתכם יחד את העשור לתיאטרון השתחוויה. הבחירה לחגוג את ציון הדרך הזה עמכם היא לא מקרית כמובן, היא עדות והיא מתן אמון בכוח של התיאטרון, של התרבות ושל האומנות, בכוחה של יצירה, להשפיע, לשנות משהו בעולם, לתקן ולפעמים גם לרפא. אבל הבשורה המרגשת שאתם נושאים ומוכיחים כאן בתיאטרון השתחוויה היא העובדה שבאותה מידה של הצלחה, עשייה יצירתית פועלת גם על קבוצה, על קהילה, על חברה שלמה. בהשתחוויה אתם יודעים שבכוחו של תיאטרון לבנות קשרים חוצי קהילות, זהויות ואמונות.
ተነሱ ቁሙ ዘመዱ ጸልዩልኝ ለልጄ ልጄ ያልታወቀ ገንዘብ ተበድራ ዕዳ ተይዛለችና ከዕዳ ያውጣልኝ የእስራኤል አምላክ በሉልኝ።
አሜን። אותם בוגרי ובוגרות תוכניות תיאטרון השתחוויה בסופו של תהליך עומדים זקופים על הבמה ומשמיעים את קולם של אנשים וקהילות שקולם אינו נשמע. ושימו לב עד כמה הם נפלאים, כי זה לא נגמר שם. בוגרי ובוגרות התוכניות שלנו שפיתחו מודעות חברתית ורגישות לאחר, לא נשארים אדישים למצוקות של אחרים בסביבתם ועושים כל שביכולתם לעזור.
וזה מביא אותי לשאלה, האם התיאטרון יכול לשנות היסטוריה? וזה ויכוח שמתנהל המון שנים בינינו האומנים. אז הנה, הצגות התיאטרון השפיעו בעצם על ההיסטוריה האישית של כל משתתף בהם.
If I may, Ifat.
Yeah.
If I may, I think we didn't clear what we are doing actually. We are not an amateur community theater. When we say we are base theater, it means that we are not playing Molière or Shakespeare play. What we do actually, the participants, the ones we recruit to be in our theater, they write with their sweat, blood, and tears, their life story, what they are going through. And through that analysis of what they are doing, they help and empower themselves to raise up and stand and help the family, and through that, help the community. And that's what we are doing. And when we have 5,000 people doing that, we influence a lot of people in Israel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you, Ruben. So the background and the social environment that we're working, you know that the Israeli society is very diverse. At our everyday life, we meet people who usually similar to us, and we barely have the opportunity to know the other and to create a dialogue with it. And you see this picture and you probably would say, hey, Ifat, these all women, they look the same, but they're women from different backgrounds who came together to talk about gender issues. And take the Israeli society, the Arabs, Ultra-Orthodox, people with special needs, the Ethiopian community, the elders, youth at risk, vulnerable populations that feel the decreased sense of belonging because they feel transparent. They don't have the opportunity to go to the front, to make other people hear them and to gain a voice. And social disparities weaken them more and marginalize them even more. And you know that events like pandemic and wars and economic slumps felt more intensively in vulnerable communities. So we have to help them even more and to give them the tools to create a better life for themselves. And we talked about social and personal and social barriers. When you feel empowered and when you have the strength and the confidence to speak and to stand for yourself, you can make a change and you create and you can build for yourself a better future. And I want now to show you I-24 channel report about secular women and ultra-Orthodox women who came together. And one of our main goals is to bring people together and to strengthen the social resilience in Israel. So let's see that now.
A group of ultra-Orthodox and secular women have come together on a stage in Jerusalem. The diverse group of women presented their first original play, My Garden, which is based on issues that concern every woman: a career, the so-called glass ceiling, raising a family, as the differences between them and social tensions resonate in the background.
There are very few meeting points between ultra-Orthodox women and secular women. We can be neighbours, we can work together, but not really know each other. Add to that all the preconceived notions and stereotypes, and that creates alienation, even fear. We're trying to create a connection with this project, with the understanding that women have the capability of doubling the influence and bringing it to those who are close to them.
The actresses, ultra-Orthodox and secular women aged 28 to 70, met every week over the past year as part of the Connection Theatre Project, a community-based theatre group established by Curtain Call organization and co-directed by the ultra-Orthodox Idit and secular Ifat.
It's really important to be in touch and to speak and to know one each other, because we are one, you know, my soul, your soul, his soul, his soul. It's one. So it's about time, you know, that we meet.
Connecting two sects of a society who might not otherwise have dialogue rang true to the American Embassy, which funded the project.
The American Embassy is engaged in a lot of different ways here in Israel, and so among the things that's very important to it is
And now I want to talk with you about the 3 circles of influence of the community-based theater. The first circle is the personal empowerment and personal process that the participants are going through. You know that when you have to speak in front of people, your heart beats very fast and your mouth is dry and your hands are sweaty and you're all nervous at the exact time that you need to be at your best and you want to shine. And it's very hard to make that breakthrough and to speak to people naturally. And when you learn and you practice acting and theater, you practice how to deal with conflicts and relationships and even storytelling and how to express your emotions. And you take those tools, those practices, theater practices, to your personal life, and you can make a change. I want to tell you about last month we had a performance of a group for people with vision disabilities, and one of them played a bride on her wedding day, and in her personal life she's getting a divorce, and she came to the director, to the group instructor after the show, and she told him, "You don't know what you have done to me with that part, because I had a discussion about my divorce with my husband and other people involved. And usually I used to cry and I couldn't speak. And this time I stood up for myself and I knew my rights and I said them, and I make it better for myself." So this is the first circle of influence. The second one is the group empowerment. as you saw, we're working with social groups. And when you feel that you belong to one group, you feel that you're not alone. This is not only your story. It's probably a story that other people are familiar with and living it and affected by it. And each and every group is defining their social statement and creates an original play based on social issues. And that leads us to the third circle of influence, which is the community that have the opportunity to hear them and to be exposed to that social issues. And when you sit there as an audience, you can have a better view and a better understanding about the other, about people that you cannot know and in your everyday life. Or you sit there and you recognize yourself in it, and you feel yourself that you're empowered by it. So these are 3 circles of influence. And you probably know that people have a lot of potential, but people from disadvantaged backgrounds, they have it's very difficult for them to open doors, because they feel and they cope with closed doors, social ones and personal ones. And by performing on stage, by raising your voice, you can afterwards open those doors and make a change in your life. And I want you to see 4 of them, 4 wonderful people from our groups, 4 short testimonials. So please.
הייתה חוויה מאוד מאוד טובה, נהניתי מאוד, והתחלתי מכיתה ח' ועוד היום אני בכיתה י'. זה היה מאוד מאוד טוב. נתן לי ביטחון עצמי מאוד מאוד טוב. הייתי לא יכול לדבר עם קאמרה, עם אנשים, עכשיו אני יכול, אין בעיה, וזהו.
במשפט אחד, חבל על הזמן, כיף חיים, ואני רוצה להודות לצוות שלנו בהקים חדרה, אני באמת רוצה להודות להם, שהם שכנעו אותי להגיע להצגה הזאת.
כמעט 4 שנים אני משתתפת בהצגה בריקודים בתיאטרון. תרם לי, במקום לשבת בבית לשמם, יצאתי, מי אני יודעת. לתוכנית שלכם, מה זה לידע שלנו, מה זה עוזר? מה זה עוזר? נותן לנו הרגשה. תראי, הרגשה, מי אנחנו? אנחנו לא יושבים בבית, לא משמם לנו, הולכים, חוזרים. נותן לנו כוח. ממש נותן לנו כוח. לילדים שלי אני הולכת, אמא, את בתיאטרון, את בריקודים, אמא שלנו תותחית, את מופיעה. זה נותן לי רגישות. כיף לי, בטח, ממש.
באמת אצלנו בעיר אשדוד יש מגוון של פעילויות. אחת מהן זאת תיאטרון קהילתי אנדነት יחדיו, שמורכבת מהורים וילדים ונוער, שזה ממש משהו לא קורה ביום יום של הפערים וכל מה שמסביב. אנחנו בעצם יוצרים באמצעות הבמה איזשהו שיח ותקשורת, כולם בשפה אחידה. כן, האמת שאני בא קצת גם מתחום של התיאטרון, אני אישית למדתי וראיתי שהכלי הזה של התיאטרון הוא ביטוי לכך שאם אנחנו רוצים להביע איזושהי עמדה, איזושהי ביטוי, זה המקום שלנו.
You know, the women you saw, the Ethiopian women, she is a single mom for 7, and she came to our program and she wouldn't speak at all. She said to the instructor, I'm just going to sit down, I'll watch, I don't want to perform at all. And the instructor told her, the theater director told her, okay, that's fine, you can sit down, and when you feel confident enough, join us. And after 2 years, she participated at the final show, original show, and her story is that she couldn't help her children with problems they had at school because she was too insecure to speak with teachers and the principals, the school principals. And after 2 years in our program, she joined the PTA. And for us, it could be a matter of choice, if you want to do it or not. But for her, it was a life-changing experience because she felt worthy enough to do that. And it didn't stop there. Now she's helping other Ethiopian families with the education system in Ashdod, and she helped them to deal with it and cope with conflicts that they are dealing with. So let me get back to the slides. So the power of community-based theater is exactly that. When you feel empowered, when you feel that you've been seen, you're becoming a social aware person, and you care, and you know you have the power to make a change for yourself and for others, and you act. I think this is the main thing. You act on stage, and you act on live, and you make a difference. And you're becoming a community leader and social change agent, and we have here Suhir. She is a live example for that. And I met Suhir almost more than 10 years ago, and I fell in love. We're blessed to have her, and she's doing a wonderful job in Curtain Call. She is the manager of our programs in the Arab Society. And Suhir, let me ask you a question. We want to know how working with us in Curtain Call change your personal life and professional life. And Suhir will speak in English, and I'll translate her later.
החוויה היא מבחינתי את הקול הפנימי שלי, למרות כל הזמן נסו ורצו להשתיק אותי. שלא יכלתי להשמיע את הקול הזה, להביא אותו בקדמת הבמה, לדבר על הצרכים שלי, מה רוצה, מה מתאים לי כאישה, כצעירה. היום יש את החוויה עם כלי תיאטרון הקהילתי מצליחה לשים את הקול הזה בקדמת הבמה ולהגיד מה מתאים לי, מתי מתאים לי, מה רוצה, מה הצרכים שלי, ולדבר על זה בקול רם.
So here's sharing with us that as a woman and a mother, she feels like she's being silenced by others, and that she don't have the place to express herself and to talk about her needs and to say what her aspirations are, what she want to do with her life. And Curtain Call for her is a place that she gained her own voice, and she's now capable of saying what she needs, what she thinks, how she wants to live her life. and how to deal and how to manage life challenges better. Continuously.
וגם להביע את הרגשות שלי עם ביטחון ועוצמה ולהתמודד עם האתגרים בחיים שלי כאישה, כאימא, עם כמה מעגלים, האישי, המשפחתי, החברתי. לפעמים מנסים ונסו להשתיק את כמו שאמרתי, אותי כאישה וגם כאימא, ולא נתנו לי את הכוח להביע ולעמוד על שלי.
Okay, she said, I already said that. It's so you can. She said again how she feels she cannot express her emotions and be in silence, and how she feels different right now, and she can do it and express herself and be empowered. Tell us the story about your father when you just came and told him that you're going to work in theater, not being a teacher.
Yes, התיאטרון בחברה הערבית הוא לא מובן מאליו, ולא מכירים את זה כמו שצריך. כמו כל צעירה באתי לאבא עם חיוך כזה גדול, ואמרתי לו שאני התקבלתי לעבודה בתפקיד מנחת תיאטרון קהילתי. פתאום הפרצוף שלו השתנה. מה את רוצה לעשות לנו? בושה, פדיחה ביישוב, בשכונה? איפה את?
Let me translate it. She said that Suhir is sharing that theater is not very common in the Arab society. And after the interview with me, she came with a big smile to her father and told him about her new job in curtain call. And he looked at her he was mad maybe, and he told her, you want to embarrass us? Continue.
אחרי הרבה שיחות הגענו למסקנה והסכמה שאני אחראית על כל החלטה שאני החלטתי, ואל לבוא לו יום ולהגיד לו עשו לי בוכה, כל הדרמות הזאת.
And after they talked for long conversations about it, he told her, you're responsible for your life and don't come afterwards crying to me.
המשפט הזה באמת הלך איתי עם כל השנים בהשתחוויה, בעשייה שלי, שרציתי כל הזמן להוכיח לאבא שאני הבת שלו ויסמוך עליי, שלהוכיח גם לחברה שהתיאטרון הוא כלי לא רק אמונתי אלא גם כלי חינוכי מוביל לשינוי.
Because of that sentence that her father told her, she wanted to prove him and the Arab society that theater is an important tool. Theater, culture, arts are important to Arab society, to the Israeli society in general, but to the Arab society as well. And that drives her, and now it's your life goal. Right? עכשיו זה ממש המטרת חיים שלך, אז בואי תספרי איך בעצם פתחת את הקבוצות.
בטח, ומאז השליחות שלי בחיים היא להשפיע ולשנות משהו בחברה שלי, בחברה הערבית באופן מיוחד ובחברה בכלל, ולהביא משהו חדש וחדשני גם. דרך הבמה אפשר להרגיש כמה אנחנו בעלי יכולת להיות מוצלחים וגם יצרנים, בעלי יכולת גם כוחות לשינוי, يعني.
Yeah. And since then, and for 10 years now, this is her life goal. And from the starting point that she wanted the municipalities to take our programs, and they told her, what are you thinking about? Theater here? It's not gonna happen. She worked really hard to it because she believed in theater, and she mentioned the great things that theater does, and we spoke about it earlier. And And now she's getting phone calls every day, and they want our program. They contact you for the programs, right? From one group to 30 group each year, and we're, as I said, we're blessed to have you here. את רוצה לסכם ממש במשפט?
במשפט, ורציתי להגיד גם דרך התעשייה הזאת ודרך התיאטרון, היום אפשר להפחית את תופעת האלימות בחברה הערבית, דרך כלי התיאטרון, דרך לפתח דיאלוג, דו-שיח, מיומנות האלו, באמת זה...
Now she believes that through community-based theater, we can decrease the violence in the Arab society. I think almost every youth group that you're working with, the subject, the issue of violence in the Arab society is raising from their performance, and you do a wonderful job, Sayir. So thank you for that.
I just want to mention that we have in Israel, wait a minute. I just want to mention that we have a major problem in Israel, and it's a major task of the government today to reduce the violence in the Arab society. We have, I think, since the beginning of this year, about 45 murders in the Arab society between gangs, and we hope that one of the tools that will help to help this problem is our theater. Of course, we need more money, we need more manpower, that we'll talk later, but we think we have a tool, not an enforcement tool that brings the police, the army, just a social tool to help those in the Arab society.
Well, I think Ruben puts his finger on a very important point about the uniqueness of community theater that you referred to earlier, Ifat. And I think one of the, what we're hearing from Sohir when she shared her story about her father is that there were barriers to the participants that require them to become brave, to overcome them. The Ethiopian woman who you referred to as well. Can you talk a little bit about what elements you see of first of all, how you even recruit the participants? So, you know, who are the people that actually do the recruiting from the communities that you're targeting for involvement?
You know that we cannot do it alone. We work in, every year we have over 60 groups in different cities and different towns all over Israel. So we have a collaboration with the municipality, with the social service department, and they help us to recruit the people.
One of the things is my role was to moderate the way they recruit, to have sales force, actually sales force in a voluntary organization, to have a sales force that will sell those products to the municipalities, to the cities. And you have to reach them, you have to give them targets. And what I said, as I told you before, as I said before, most of the voluntary organization who don't have this experience of dealing and sell, they have the vision. And we are a tiny organization that operates only with, I think, 7 employees, totally. 7 employees, 8 employees, and about 40 instructors in the different towns. And we bring so many new clients every year, and we hope to grow every year. As we grow, I think society will be better.
So one of the challenges for recruitment is people, I would imagine, who recognize that their community is not going to like, whether that's their family, whether that's their neighbor, whether that's someone outside the three circles that you described. We have a question from Deborah about backlash. Are there examples where people step forward, you recruit them, they become involved in the program, but it's not just disappointment or embarrassment, but the kind of negativity that they are getting actually forces them out of the program or makes it difficult for them to participate?
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't happen a lot. Happens a lot, but it did happen in a Bedouin women's group. The women there were so afraid. They didn't want their husbands to know, so we didn't call that a theater. It was women meetings, and when they performed in front of women only. And I remember the community center manager, she closed the doors actually with her hands, so no one will see what's happening inside the room. And yes, some of them, it was too much for some of them. It was 7 years ago. I hope we're in a different place right now, but yeah, it's a challenge. And during this, the last decade, we learned how to bring theater to communities who never used it, or even
I don't want them to think that most of our participants are afraid to show. And let me give you another example of our other participants. The Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip was shooting missiles, and you have the elderly people at the third and the fourth stage of their life. Just imagine to yourself, they're sitting in home, bombs around, nobody takes care of them. They need to express themselves. They need to empower themselves. Getting old is not a good thing. Getting old with missile falling on you is a greater tragedy.
And
with
during
us,
the COVID.
In the COVID-19, with us, we bring them hope. They can talk between themselves. They can express themselves. They can empower themselves between one and another. So we have a lot of groups that no negativism, no we have a lot of groups that are very happy doing what they are doing. But you have some groups that where you're talking. You have some groups with children with special needs. It's hard to get them and to keep them going. There's a lot of things that Ifat and her team are dealing with.
So it was delightful to have. As I was listening to each of the different testimonials, what I was reading, regardless of language, accent, where they were, was pride in the accomplishment of what the performances have created. I wonder, Ifat, if you could translate for Sohair. I'm curious to know what she's the most proud about, having seen. Actually, I'd like to hear from each of the three of you what you're most proud about. But let's start with Sohair first.
Okay. Sohair, וויין שואל, מה הדבר שאת הכי גאה בו, שראית בעבודה בהשתחוויה, שחווית בקבוצות, שאת הכי גאה בו?
באמת שאנחנו יכולות להשמיע את הכל, כל בן אדם, כל חברי הקבוצה יכולים להביע את הרגשות שלהם, להגיד מה מתאים להם ומה לא מתאים, שהם באמת יכולים להרגיש את ההצלחה הזאת שהם יצרנים ויכולים להיות מוצלחים, לא כמו שהם מתייגים אותם בבית ספר, בבית, עם משפחה, עם חברים. העשייה שלנו השתחוויה באופן מיוחד, נותנת את ההרגשה הזאת שאתה מוצלח, שאתה תצליח, שאתה יוכל, כזה.
She said that the thing that she's proud the most is seeing youth that usually their parents, their teachers think nothing is going to come out of them, and they know now that they can be successful and that they're good in other, maybe not in learning, but in other things, and afterwards we see that they're getting better at school also, and she's really proud of them that they do this change and they know they can do better. And I'll continue and say that the thing that I'm proud the most is when Suhir or Mali, she's our artistic director and she's in charge of all of our groups, looks at me, talk to me with tears in their eyes, and they say, see that girl, see that woman, see that boy, he didn't speak. The social worker didn't know what is going on in his house, and now he can get help. So this is the thing that I'm proud the most.
Nice. Reuven?
Since I'm not in the artistic side of the business, but the operation and the business side, the most thing that I'm proud about the team is the survival in the last 3 years. Just think over, we are theater. We need the audience. We have shutdowns, we have the COVID, and we survived those 2.5 hard years because we couldn't raise money, we couldn't bring audience, we couldn't have shows, we couldn't have the team meet. And it was 3 years of struggling. You recruit the groups and then you have the shutdowns. You recruit the groups and you have the shutdown. But we're doing good now. So I'm proud very much about it.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about that when I was looking at the images of the masks, not the COVID masks, but the theater masks, which we all associate with, an ancient form of drama that has a long tradition and continuity to it, and really in the past couple of years, as you said, has created for everybody perhaps a need to understand more about those masks now that everyone's had to wear them in different settings. Ifat, I'm going to give you the last word just because we only have a minute or two left, but just to share of how people can continue to follow and learn about Curtain Call.
Yeah, so I'm proud to share with you that next month I'm going to represent Israel in a national group of social entrepreneurs at the USA. I'm going to visit the USA for 3 weeks, and I'm going to be at Washington, D.C. and New York. And if you want to meet and to talk about Curtain Call and to get to know us better, I would love you to contact me. You have my email and my LinkedIn. You can go to our website and read more about us.
I want to say very important things. If you can help us and donate some of money to help us continue, we're struggling. Every month it's a struggle to keep on to do a beautiful business, and help could be is needed. We have you're going to show the next slide where you can donate to our organization.
We'll share it at the chat. Yeah,
great,
for donations and support us, and we'll be very grateful for you to be involved.
So I want to first and foremost thank Soher, Ifat, Reuven for being with us today. You can all take a bow. We're grateful for your sharing an organization that you're deeply involved in and proud of, and we're so pleased to be able to share with our audience today. You know, we've been doing this every week since COVID started. There are people who have commented they can't see shows because they're still in, for health reasons, they're not able to. During this period, the challenges have hit the theater world so difficult, but we've been here week in, week out. We're building community in the only way we can. We're delighted that in the past several weeks, we've tipat, we're just beginning to bring back some visitors to Israel. We have a group that's coming of Hispanic legislators, actually, and we have a delight for you. If you come join us next Wednesday, we're going to meet with some of the legislators that are going to be in Israel as part of our webinar series next week on Wednesday. So please come back and join us. Support us as well as all of the programs that we're running to put a spotlight on Israeli organizations that are doing mitzvot, doing important things that are impacting on people's lives. We're pleased to do it. We make all our programming free and available to everyone, and we greatly appreciate your support by coming, by word of mouth, telling your friends, sharing the invitations and links to others. We will send you a copy of the YouTube videos afterwards so you can share it with others and continue to spread the word. Everyone have a safe week. It was good to be all together. We look forward to joining with you again and bringing you programming throughout the summer. להתראות and shalom.